Jabba, this is your last chance. Free us or die.
Raise your sabers high, for you have just built a lightsaber, like the Jedi and Sith that came before you. And like them, you too can change the galaxy. Remember, it only takes a spark. Congratulations, builders. Please lower and deactivate your lightsabers.
Yes, I bet you have.
So uncivilized.
I love lightsabers more than anything on the entire planet. And of course, when I went to Galaxy's Edge, which was freaking amazing, I hugged Chewie, I saw the Falcon and blew up, and I obviously met Rey, and I saw this weird thing in the cantina. It was super gross. I built my own lightsaber. It was heavy, just like they described it in the movies. It looked perfect, it was shiny, it was cold in your hand because it was metal, and of course when you turned it on, it had that scroll on feature, so it looked just like it was actually coming on. The sounds were great. When you would flick it, it would blink orange, just like it would in the movies, and of course when you would turn it off again, it would do the exact same thing as it did when it would turn off, and it was just perfect. And in Galaxy's Edge, I built an original character. And this character would be much more likely to also carry a blaster on their hip, but obviously you can't, just carry a gun into Disneyland. I was like, it'd be so cool to apply these things that I did with the lightsaber, do that with the blaster, to have something actually heavy and cold that I could put in someone's hand that would actually weigh, 3 pounds and would do all these things that I wanted it to do. And so I kind of drew up a little bit of a mock, and I, kind of said, yeah, that looks fun, and then I kind of put it down and put it away because I wasn't exactly fully interested in it. Cut to maybe about 2 months after that, I am in my costuming class at my school. Someone walks up to me and says, hey, the Serger broke. I thought that you'd want this piece. And so they put down this. And instantly, my mind is just racing with possibilities. It's so perfect, it's simplistic, it's got these weird slots on it, it's got these little accents of red. Like, what is this? I need it to be used for something good. And instantly I realize, oh my gosh, this is a blaster scope mount. And so I drew up a new plan.
A better one.
A better one?
That one.
What one? Aye, that one. What say you? Aye!
Basically, I ended up drawing up a idea that drew from parts of my favorite blasters, things like the DL-44 and the A-180, which are Jyn Erso and Han Solo's blasters, respectively. I wanted to do something that, again, was my own. The lightsaber experience is a custom experience, and that was something that I wanted to apply with the blaster. I ended up not filming any of the first part, which was essentially to catch you up, to mount the scope onto the scope mount. So I used hosed clamps, which are an adjustable clamp, I drilled some holes through the hose clamps, and then I used pop rivets to rivet the hose clamps onto the thing. And so this went really well, as you can see, and I'm really, I was really proud of it, and I still think that it's some of the best stuff that I did on this project, so... Okay, so essentially what I'm trying to do here is that I'm going to be having 2 set screws that are going to go right there and right there, one above, so that they're kind of offset. Alright, so one there, and that'll provide an interesting look. And then what I'm going to do is then I'm going to put that piece right there so that it'll be kind of, a clean look, but it'll also have like a little hint of black, kind of like the A180. And then it'll also have a nice gold screw that'll kind of go back to like the Wetzler, scope, the dial on top of Han Solo's DL44 scope. So as you can see, I've kind of put this little tiny indent in there. And what I did is something that you really technically shouldn't do, which is I've used the tip of that tacked as kind of a hole punch set. An automatic, I think it's called like I forget what it is. This is probably really convoluted, and I'm 100% sure there's an easier way to do this, but for right now I'm having fun and it's working, and I'm too lazy to do a ton of research and figure it out, so yeah, let's just keep going on this. So you'll notice here that none of these measurements are really that precise, but I figured since in the storyline of this prop that I'm going for, it was made by a weapons modification, guy on some smuggling planet, I figured that, person wouldn't exactly be the most keen on making precise measurements and is purely a functionality person, which is my way of saying I was too lazy to spend 14,000 hours doing all the perfect measurements when perfect measurements don't exist, and there were none in the original props. And there's me finally marking where that next hole should go. How good this camera is.
Really good. Yeah. Holy crap.
Hey guys, so now we're going to move on to my favorite part, which, oh, got too excited there, which is two-part epoxy. This is a great material and tool. I'll show you how to use it in a sec, but this is 5-minute epoxy, and I'm also going to be using this little silicone-tipped glue spreading tool, which is great because it means that you can peel off the glue and reuse it multiple times. You can also use the disposable wood brush as well. So you're going to get one of your 2 halves, you're going to put on just a tiny bit. This is only a little bit of glue that's needed. And one thing that I always forget when I do this is that you only need half as much as you think you're going to need for the first part. I always put down as much as I need for one half, and then as much as I need on the second half. Only put on half as much as you think you need for each half. Then you're just going to mix it up together with the silicone brush, and then you're just going to spread it onto your piece, and well, you got 5 minutes working time, and then you just stick it on. So yeah, good luck. So this was the result of peeling it off. There was some gunk and excess stuff, but you know what, that happens. But that was the final result mostly. Now all that I'm doing here is I'm just putting on the scope, which is attached via a couple of hose clamps that are riveted onto the Serger plate. And then I'm able to just tighten those up with some, with a small socket wrench. And there it is. Fully glued on, took like an hour and a half. Looks good. This is totally like samurai cop framing right here. Got the scope finished a while ago, you kind of already saw that. And I am so glad that I got, there's a lot of stuff. All that today in the mail. First off, I got a tap handle and a 8/32 thread, as well as a drill bit for drilling pilot holes. Screws! These are all the screws I got. It's a little red knurled screw. I had 2 of these for the other side. This screw is kind of like a hex head screw. I got 2 of those. I was going to use them for the heat sink, didn't end up doing that. These are 2 set screws, which I'm going to use for that. I might actually use these ones that were originally intended for the heat sink on the actual base of the scope mount. This is the big old brass knurled screw, and then that is a brass hex screw. So yeah. And I also got these 2 Allen wrenches. So that is a good look. Really like that. Really lines up perfectly. Only thing is that with the shoulder here, what I wanted for it to do is that I wanted it to flushly lay in there, holding it up. So it doesn't quite do that yet. So what my new plan is to get this, get some sandpaper, and then I'm just going to be sanding it down until it fits perfectly into that hole, center and flush. So as you can see, I've been working on that a little bit. So, since I'm not gonna be sanding it anymore, I might as well clean it up a little bit here with a much smaller grit. I think this is probably like a 400 to 500 grit sanding twig. See there, it just kind of shines it up. What I just did with these two grits of sanding twig here, with this like rough, maybe like 85 grit and this 400 grit, I would assume, or maybe like, essentially what I did is that when you do that on this, it adds kind of like a brushed texture, which is exactly what I did with this part of the scope. You can see right there, kind of got like that brushed texture to it. So I've been sanding, and let's see here. You know what? Maybe if it just sits, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Basically now I guess I'm just waiting on the actual airsoft pistol. It's here. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, that is so weird. Okay, that's scary. That just feels wrong. I can never bring this anywhere, ever.
We tried to tell you that.
I mean, like, I know that, I wasn't going to, but this feels really, like, ugh. Wow, that's terrifying. Okay, well... Oh! Oh, what do you know? No, it's just our heads are cut off. This is my dad. He's gonna help me because I'm not able to do it myself. First off, we've taken a ton of crappy, you know, rewards cards here and, you know, that we've chucked, and I saved them literally 2 hours ago, and now they're already in use. So, you know, save this thin plastic stuff whenever you can. So we've put a level that's meant for, I think it's like a string level, yeah, that's what I saw. So this is one that is great. So this part is completely flush here, and I'll put a shot in here. So close up with my phone here, what we did here is that this part of the gun and this grip here are completely level with each other. So put the bubble level here, and it is absolutely perfect. So that is a major, major positive. So what we're going to be doing here is that we're going to be putting that right about there, that right about there, and that kind of like right there. How are we gonna do this?
Well,
All right, here. You know what? I'll just keep doing this.
so I just taped the cards down because we're gonna put some blue tape right along here, so that that drill bit doesn't skitter across here, and because if it did, it would make a skittery mark all the way across here and scratch up all of the anodizing. And so we don't want that. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put blue tape down here, then we're gonna mark where we want the holes, and that will keep the drill bit from skittering across the surface here, and it'll allow you to drill the holes straight down. And we have a drill that has a level in it,
All right.
which is a super cool, neat thing.
And it's also helpful.
Yeah,
for
super
this.
helpful. So as long as we can keep that going straight down, as long as you can keep it going straight down, you'll be fine.
Okay.
And so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna mark the holes and then drill. And now we can pick this up because we've marked where it goes back down.
This is exactly what we do in theater to make sure that props don't go missing. We do this on the prop tables. This is not a good angle. Oh, okay. You get it. Whatever.
Now, when you first start this hole, as you get the bit started, you don't need to be paying too much attention to that bubble. But as the hole finally, when it bites, you start to see a little bit of shavings. Then you're going to want to make sure that then you get the thing up.
All right. Okay. I'm just gonna let you know now. For this bit, I'm just gonna prioritize me getting this right instead of you seeing it. I'm sorry. I gotta do this right. Hopefully, we'll get a good angle. That's the first one, and that's the second one. We are making progress. Oh my god. No way. Look at how clean that is. Mr. Clean is quaking in his damn boots. Oh my god. Okay, all I'm doing here is tapping. Never done it before, but I've watched about 1 billion videos, so it should go okay. It'll go okay. I sounded very confident there, didn't I? So I've done some tests with tapping before, before this project. They went pretty good. The holes were mostly the problem, drilling the holes, but this time the whole drilling went freaking spectacular, so... Hey everybody, sorry about the constant back and forth, but I really quickly wanted to explain the tapping process. So you can see me going in with the tap, screwing it in, and then right about, come on, now backing it up. So what that's doing is that it's collecting the metal shavings that happen when you tap, and it's really essential that you do that, or else metal shavings will just column into your project, and that's not good. Keep it straight as well, that's important. You don't want the screw going in crooked. Now when I was test fitting this screw, I realized I hadn't gone all the way to the bottom of the hole that I drilled. So I had to go back in and tap all the way down to the bottom. So yeah, make sure that you're not going all the way to the bottom at first and that you're checking it. Now screwing that in again, it does go all the way to the bottom, but speaking of crooked screws, you can see that this one is unfortunately crooked because I wasn't slow enough with the drilling. So take it slow, take your time. Oh my god. Oh, it's amazing. Okay, so what I'm doing now is that there's this one detail piece that I want right there that I'm going to use some flush screws for. I kind of marked it right there. I'm going to put some blue tape on, mark it again. I'm going to drill a couple of holes in both that and in that, and then we'll go from there.
Everything we need, Will.
So, really quick, first off, the good camera died. No, it didn't die. But we ran out of space. So we're using my iPhone, which should be serviceable, but not as good. So, first off, I wanted to catch you up on one side here. Put these two flush. Everything works fine on this side. I already covered that. So I put on this detail here. I drilled out this hole, everything was going good. And then I was stupid, I wasn't going slow enough, and I drilled these holes kind of off center. So then I tried to widen them, then it was working, then they got too wide, and then it got super muddled, and then in the end, instead of threading these and having this be removable, I had to epoxy this in, so I sanded the two sides, I glued it in, I screwed it in. So it still looks like you can unscrew it, which is good enough for me. I wish I'd been, more careful. So that's the thing that got really messed up yesterday, but it's fine, it works fine, but, go slow with this, take your time, because I went slow with these bits. They turned out fantastic. I could not be more happy with them. So I guess that's what I learned, is just to take it really slow, because I don't want to mess this up. What we're going to be doing today is I'm going to be dremeling off this whole rail here from this part to this part, and then be dremeling off this so that can lay flush right there.
So let's get to it. I don't want to bust off any of the stuff that you've done.
Okay.
So because of this, being all of these things here, I want to put down a towel or something.
Okay.
First, and then put this down. And then if we can get some clamps like there, get one clamp there and maybe one there. Yeah.
Other way?
Yeah.
I
so
should do it the other way on the other side too. Quick grip clamps like these that you squeeze the handle on are maybe like the greatest thing humans have ever invented. They're so good. I use these on like everything in, you know, most of the builds that I do in the shop, in theater tech, and they are incredibly strong, incredibly easy to use. You don't need much skill to use them.
So we're gonna remove this right here. The Dremel.
Protection. If you don't have.
So this
glasses.
Dremel is from like 1975 or something. So
okay.
It's old. So this is very thin, and it'll cut. You're gonna need to take your time, okay? But it'll cut through aluminum for sure. It's gonna spin at thousands of RPM, and that's great. But you just need to take it slow, let it cut. If you start pushing, this is just sandpaper. I mean, it's like a sandpaper disc, so it'll fly apart if you're not careful. It really moves. So you know, here. If you're working on something, if you're on a bolt or something, this can, if it's rotating and you're pushing, it can sometimes go like this and go around the bolt. You know? So you just have to be aware of it. And I guess that's the only
start?
I'll start to show you. And the thing is, it's going to shoot sparks off of one side, right?
So which side? That side?
I can't remember.
Okay, well, this is a learning experience.
So.
What's going on here? It feels like it's dull.
Yeah.
Is it already dull?
It's a sanding disc.
Okay.
Yeah, that probably killed it.
Is it dead?
Yeah.
Is it off?
It's dead.
Well, I got it on camera.
Well,
buddy,
so
it's smoking.
after 50 years, a tool gets to die, you know?
That's so sad, but I'm all, bud. Okay, so we're on our way to the hardware store, which is an unwise idea in our current situation, but I mean, we need a new Dremel.
Belong to your grandfather, just so that the audience understands. You know, I mean, tools that belong to your grandfather that had electronics in them, I mean, you know, it probably deserved to be in a grave. So, there you go. Well, I mean, it's a tool. It's not, you know, it's not talking about your grandfather.
The face.
All right.
2,000, 4,300, 4,000. Here we go.
Why am I touching this? That's it. Back from the hardware store. That's it. Terrifying. I mean, I guess. It's a Dremel. Could we cut this down then?
You can, yeah.
That might actually look better.
How's it burning up over here?
And I just broke the rail off. Great. So I've marked where I'm gonna cut this off, and then I'm gonna keep going. A lot of these are going directly into my face, so I'm gonna put this on. I'm glad that I brought it up here. I'm gonna keep going across this until I get this wheel off. It's been going okay, and I know that some of you might feel like, oh god, that looks awful. I hate it too, first off. Second off, I'm gonna sand it down. It's just gonna be a plain silver piece. So I'm just gonna make this whole section here just silver, you know? It makes it easier, makes it so that I don't have to do as much work to keep it clean. I don't have to repaint it. You know, if I wanted it to be black, I'd have to go in and I'd have to completely fix this entire thing. So I'm thinking that I'm gonna make this section here silver along with this section here. It'll work, and I think it'll look good. That is a Star Wars blaster. Oh my god. Well, it's on there. What I'm working on right now is I'm going to drill these two tiny holes into this. I'm going to clamp it, and it should be okay. So after drilling and tapping, that is the result of all the work. And now all I have to do is put the scope in. Wanted to be able to put it together, take it out. Oh my god, okay, all right. And then I'm not looking at it from the side I want to look at it on until I finish putting these last two caps on. How does it look?
It looks really cool.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god, that's awesome.
That's super cool.
Oh my god, it's real. It's real. I drew it and then it became real.
Yeah. I love it.
I mean, now all I have to do is buy the flash hider, and then that's it. That is a space cowboy gun. That is 100% a smuggler. Like, that is amazing.
That's really great.
Okay.
Nice.
All right. That's it. Guess what just came? 2 seconds. Okay. I ordered the flash hider, and it just came. And if it's not the flash hider, then I have no idea what it is. Okay. Oh my god! Oh, it's perfect! Oh my god, it's perfect! Did I mention that it's perfect?
Oh my gosh.
It's so beautiful, and my sticker's here too.
So really it is the last pieces.
Where is this from?
Oh, that is cool.
I love that.
Wow. It is gorgeous. So you have to ding it up. What do we call that thing?
What?
Why do you have a poplet? You ordered a poplet?
What? They gave me another one. So real quick, I ordered this for my toolbox. Weirdest thing, I was like, the front lens. I was like, I'm missing the front lens on one of these. Can I get a replacement front lens? So they just sent me a whole new pop light. I think
Oh,
that
these
one's
are Bella's
you.
medicine.
That's Bella. That's my dog's medicine. Oh my god! Look at it! Oh, it's perfect!
So do you have to weather that, buddy?
Yeah. And now I'm a space pirate. Oh, yes. Look at this. Dun, 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 dun.
Does it just fit right on there?
Yep, I measured it and it is literally a millimeter away. I was worried that it would cover that, so I wouldn't be able to use the scope, but I can. Pew, pew. Again, it's like, I can't say this enough, but it's just, it's so gorgeous, you know? And if you are prone to seeing things be weathered like this, you might want to look away now, because it's about to get real. Now again, this is just some of my 130 grit sandpaper, I think. Just going around the edges to remove some of that paint. And that is the result. It looks pretty good. And of course, I'm going to be just lightly weathering this with some of that liquid shoe polish that, you know, Kiwi sells. So that's an older one right there, kind of beaten up and gross, and that is my new one, which looks all nice and is way better. So I am applying this with a paintbrush and using up just the last little bit of that old liquid shoe polish there. And then of course, all that you're going to want to do is you're just going to want to rub it on generously. Kind of missed to the camera there. Oh, there it is. Hey. So yeah, be very liberal with this. And then just rub it off, you know, don't focus on, you know, getting specific areas. Just kind of rub it off, do a pass through, see what needs to go, and then get those big clumps off if you have an older one that's kind of dried up a bit. And of course, not that much remains, but I'm going to do multiple coats on this. You know, make sure that it really gets in there. And then of course hitting the front there pretty heavily, making sure that I'm getting a lot in there. And then wiping that off as well. But kind of making sure that I'm not wiping off as much as I did with the front part. Leaving some gunk in there. It doesn't get cleaned very often, I would assume. Still too shiny. Now I am just going through and doing another heavy coat. I don't remember exactly how many coats this took it. You know, I filmed this a while ago. But I know that I definitely did more than 2. I also went back in and scratched the surface with sandpaper and added like some deeper like dings and chips with a couple of files, and then sanded those down so that they didn't look as harsh, which really helped to bring up the realism on this and make it feel like it had actually been a part that was used and then repurposed for this custom blaster in the story that this blaster is, you know, taking.